another episode of Rift News, the show you decided to watch because you want to know when will you be able to play TFT on the Porcelain Throne. Well, joke's on you, because before we get into that, we got more news to talk about. So without further ado, let's start with what's new on live servers. Right now, if you log into League, you may notice that the Heartseeker skins are available. That's because, just in case you forgot, the Forever Alone reminder is next week, Valentine's Day. And so not only does Jinx and Yuumi come with it, but the prestige version of True Damage Senna also arrived. Prestige Senna is sitting in the store for 120 prestige points, which would be nothing special if she didn't reveal the next two prestige skins. In a post a couple of weeks ago, Riot revealed their plans for the prestige skins in the first half of 2020. For prestige points, we will be able to get Senna, Zyra, Zoe, and some extras. On top of that, for tokens during events there will also be Prestige Malphite, Lucian, and more. The interesting part is that the shop usually reveals the skins in the order they are shown there. So according to this, Zoe should come before Zyra, which is not the order written in the post. So the order is probably not that accurate. Also, it is important to remember that Riot doesn't release prestige skins for the same currency twice in a row. If they release one for prestige points, the next one will be for tokens. And the one after that will be for prestige points again. So in this case, after Senna, we will get either Lucian or Malphite. Then we will be getting Zoe, if the order is right. After that, the other one of the two, and Zyra should be last. Again, that is if we can trust the order shown in the shop. But there is also the question, what events will be the skins for? Since all of these are meant for the first half of 2020, that means that we are getting at least 4 more waves of skins before June 2020. With 2 major events where Malphite and Lucian will get a prestige skin. Looking at the events in 2019, in January we got the Lunar Revel event, which fits 2020 as well. After that, in March we got April Fool's Day. If I had to guess, I think this is where Malphite will get his skin. I can imagine Malphite in a onesie just like Maokai. And then, later in May, the other major event was Battle Academia. And if Riot sticks with the theme, because it was popular, this is where we would get Lucian. But when it comes to Zyra and Zoe, those are really hard to guess because prestige skins for prestige points may come from anywhere. One of them will likely arrive in early May, during the mid-season invitational. This is where Riot releases their Conqueror skins, and they always get a golden prestige version too. So I'd like to guess that Zyra fits the Conqueror theme better, which leaves us with Zoe for late June, which is where we get the Arcade event. And let's be honest, Zoe would fit the theme of a battle boss really well. But of course, all of these are just my guesses based on past events. Also, if Zoe is last, the order in the shop wouldn't make sense. So just keep in mind that the prestige skins can really come from anywhere. The post also mentioned that each prestige skin will come with a border and icon. And on top of it, it confirmed that you can get the border and icon even if you get the prestige skin from a reroll. As long as you got it in 2020, you will still get everything. Which is interesting because I didn't even know you could get a prestige skin from a reroll. But hey, at least that means that there still is a way to get the 2019 prestige skins if you miss them. Anyway, back to live servers. That's all there is on the live servers. So now on to other news. Since we touched on the topic of Valentine's Day, Riot's merch store has some new Valentine's deals. First of all, we got the Xayah and Rakan bracelets, just in case you still believe you will find someone someday. But then we got Xayah and Rakan keychains, just in case you still believe you will find someone someday. But on top of that, you can also get sweetheart pins, a mousepad, tons of Tibbers plushies, and even more Poro plushies. And then even some True Damage jewelry. During these events there are usually some great sales, and this time you are able to get the Echo statue for half the price. But enough about Valentine's, let's dive into PBE. On PBE, the next wave of skins is already brewing, and this time we are getting 3 new Bloodmoon skins. As a quick recap, last year Riot gave Bloodmoon more context, as they released a standalone story explaining the Bloodmoon universe. Simply said, in the Bloodmoon universe, there is a cult of people who summons demons into the world. Occasionally, they manage to summon the demons themselves. For example, there is Evelyn, Thresh, Pike, or even Kennen. These guys are demons. But then there is also Aatrox. In the Bloodmoon universe, the moon itself is a cosmic womb, and the great demon Aatrox spawns from it. Other times, when they don't summon the demons, the cultists only draw from the demon's powers. For example, Twisted Fate is the master of the Bloodmoon cult. Jin is specialized in ceremonies. Yasuo is their ceremonial executioner, and so on. So let's have a look at where the new skins fall in this universe. The first one is Bloodmoon Katarina. Katarina is a priestess of the Bloodmoon cult. The fate of all priestesses is to merge with their demon. And so, just like Sivir has a half mask to show both her demon and her human side, because Sivir is also a priestess, Katarina too wears her demonic mask while revealing her human face. Eventually she will fully merge with her demon, but the skin we got shows her halfway through the transformation. The skin itself is still your standard cool Katarina skin, but this time the emphasis is on the sound effects. You can hear the ghastly howls every time her daggers fly out. Next up there is Bloodmoon Master Yi. He is also a cultist who is in the middle of merging with his demon, and the skin's design is based on the fact that the demon has currently settled in his arm. That's why his right arm is red. I have to say, I really love the four-eyed mask, and it may be my favorite Bloodmoon mask yet, but it's a shame you can't really notice the four eyes in the game. There, the purple lights representing the eyes disappear against the white of the mask. I wish the colors were a bit more saturated. But besides that, all his spells have new Blood Moony effects, with his ultimate clearly standing out. During his ultimate, his body darkens, and the faint tattoos, which you can easily miss, turn bright red together with his hand and his horns. What's cool is that Yi doesn't turn demonic as soon as you cast his ultimate. He slowly turns darker and darker throughout its duration. And now, for the last Bloodmoon skin, we have Tryndamere. Tryndamere is a demon who fully assumed control over the cultist who tried to summon him. He has the power to not only slash both humans and demons to pieces, but he can shrug off wounds that would be fatal even to demons. Just like it was with Katarina, the skin itself is a fairly standard skin, with new Blood Moony visuals. Unfortunately, unlike it was with Yi, Tryndamere's ultimate doesn't change his model, and he just gets a red overlay on his model. With that said, I have to mention the cool Bloodmoon chicken icon. Of course, all of these skins are also getting chroma versions, with each model having completely retextured masks and weapons. Tryndamere and Katarina have 7 chromas, but Master Yi has 8, which makes me think that the green version of Master Yi will be given away by creators. Lastly, Surrender20 also datamined a Bloodmoon capsule, so we should expect some loot as well. But besides all the Bloodmoon stuff, that's pretty much it for PvE right now. But don't you worry, we got more things to talk about. If you have ever regretted a purchase, or if life simply doesn't treat you well, you probably know that Riot lets you get 3 refunds. Originally, these 3 refunds were meant to last for the entire future of your account, but it seems like Riot is aware that League has a lot of different microtransactions, and it is fairly easy to buy something you don't really like. That's why, since the beginning of 2020, if you log into their support refund page, you can get 1 extra refund token for free. Just keep in mind that you can have a maximum of 3 tokens on your account. So if you have never refunded anything and you are still sitting on 3, this won't do anything for you. But speaking of microtransactions, we haven't even got out of the open beta, and Legends of Runeterra already got new guardians. The new purchasable pets are Basilisk, based on the most popular beast used in the Noxian army, Silverwing, based on the most popular beast in the Demacian army, and Gloomtooth, a shark from a ghostly chariot that just happens to be there. Right now, these guardians really are just a tiny cosmetic thing. I really wish they would do more than just sit there in the corner of your board. But still, I can't deny, they definitely add some flavor to your board. Next, if you happen to be watching streamers, and if you happen to listen to your Lord and Savior Twitch Prime, you might be interested in the loot you get the next 3 months. For League, each month you get a free permanent skin, and for TFT you get a Little Legends egg and an emote. And now, finally, let's talk about the new Lord of the Porcelain Throne, TFT Mobile. Riot gave us a post where they revealed a lot of details about it, so let's dive in. Teamfight Tactics is planned to release on mobile this March, but over the next few weeks, some of you will get invitations to join the closed beta, which essentially means that some people will get to try it sooner. At the start, the testing will be very limited, because Riot needs to test the game in different countries. So don't get alarmed if you meet someone playing it on their phone, that just means they were very lucky. As a reminder, make sure to pre-register to play TFT in the Google Play Store, or if you use Apple, there is a custom link to it, since it is not on the Apple Store yet. But here comes the big question now. What's Riot's approach to TFT Mobile? They are trying to get cross-platform working in as many countries as possible, but from the wording they used, it seems like it won't be possible everywhere. But we will get more info on that later. Also, they want to make sure that it won't matter what platform you use. You shouldn't feel disadvantaged by the way you play. And as you'll see, I think they succeeded at that. So now let's have a look at the differences between mobile and PC. First of all, Riot knows that the out-of-game experience isn't very mobile friendly. In other words, having the League client on a phone would be a disaster. That's why they had to make a brand new launcher just for TFT on a phone. Because remember, the PC client can also launch normal League, it has the League loot, and the entire store as well. All the phone really needs is just to launch TFT and maybe get some TFT cosmetics. So after some rebuilding, at launch the mobile client should support the social activities, which means TFT lobbies, friend list, and game invites. And game-wise, it will also show you your ranked ladder and your progression through the TFT pass. Thankfully, Riot already has some examples of what they put together. So this is the new mobile client. As you can see, you still get your League icon, which also shows your name and your rank. Below that you can see your TFT pass progression. And I assume that if you click on the icon next to it, you can open the rewards. Of course, the rectangles are just examples of where you will see text. So this will likely show the name of the next reward. Or maybe just the phrase TFT pass. And below that, I assume, is your currency. So this may be something like 1300 RP. Or, and this probably makes more sense, it can just say the word store. At the bottom right you get your play button, with the word play blanked out. And next to it you have a button to swap between normal and ranked game. Again, the box will just say normal or ranked. In the top right corner you can see the rest, your friend list, missions and notifications. Honestly, I love this UI. It's very simple and fairly understandable. So now, what does TFT look like in game? Thankfully we have the answer to that as well. At first glance the game looks very similar, but as Riot explains, in some ways the UI is even better than on PC. For example, items behave way better here. If you tap on the icon in the top left corner, you will open your inventory. From there you can drag the item to whatever champion you want, so you don't have to look for the items around your board. But then there is also the champion shop. Because it would cover the majority of your screen, the champion shop can be opened and closed with a button. Specifically, I assume it's going to be the big gold button at bottom right, with the level up button being on the left. At the beginning of each round, the champion shop will open automatically, and it always pops up at the top of your screen. That way it won't cover your board at the bottom, and you can still swap units around. You also have your classic stats on top right, and your synergies on the left. So overall, if you ask me, the UI looks great, and I doubt it would be heavily limiting. One thing to note is that the mobile virtual keyboard would be covering most of the screen, so at launch, mobile TFT will not support chatting. With that said, all the other things like dancing, taunting and emoting should be there. Everything else should be exactly the same as what you get on PC, which means that TFT sets, patches and everything else should be cross-platform ready. At the end of the post we also got a couple of notes. First of all, Store might not be ready at launch. You might not be able to buy little legends or maps from your phone. However, if you buy things on PC, you should be able to use them on phone just fine. Which means that yes, all little legends will cross over as well. The only exception right now applies to China and South Asia. Those two regions might get TFT as a totally separate game. Then Riot specified what kind of phones will be able to play TFT. They said anything running OS 5 or better with 2GB of RAM will do. And for Apple users, iPhone 6s is the minimum. And lastly, if you have a tablet, TFT won't be playable on it at launch. But it is planned for the future. But that's it for this episode of Rift News. I still can't believe that Riot's now working on multiple games for multiple platforms. But what's even cooler is that up until now, I don't think there has been a single mobile game that would be a legitimately good game. Maybe Fortnite would be up to debate. But even there you have to play against PC players and you feel crippled. I wonder if TFT really breaks the mobile ice, and if Wild Rift follows that success. Then again, after what we have seen in the past, that shouldn't be too hard to do. Hey, did you know that we have social media and Twitch where we talk about other League facts and stories? And did you know that we have neat mugs and shirts too? The links to all of that will be below. And as always, thank you, come again.